Hello and welcome. It's Leon Street back again. It's Wednesday, Visionary Marketing. If you're a coach, if you're a consultant, today is all about you. And in this video, I'm talking about how to create a magnetic marketing message that your niche find irresistible. If you're interested in marketing your coaching or consulting business, I'm going to take you deeper into the messaging part of what you need to consider in order to maximize the amount of people that you connect with, that you reach to, and that want to buy from you ultimately, because after all, that's what marketing is all about. So we're going to deep dive into empathy today. Before we go any further, please do remember, guys, if you're not following me already on YouTube, just give the channel a follow. Head on over to YouTube and go to Leon Street, or just tap it into the search and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. So if you want to really add empathy to your marketing message, there's a little story that I want to start with that a lot of people are, I guess, in many respects familiar with. And the story that I want to talk about is the Pied Piper of Hamelin. And it's a fairy tale. And I do believe it comes from the regions of Austria and Germany around there. But the Pied Piper of Hamelin it's a fairy tale based on a small town who have a problem with rats, and for whatever reason they can't get rid of the rats. And so, if you do know this story and I'm butchering it, please bear with me. There is a metaphor that I'm using here. But anyway, so the town has a problem with rats. They don't know how to get rid of them. And obviously they try many different methods. It's just not working. And then in comes the Pied Piper, and he speaks to the town mayor and guarantees that he can get rid of the rats so long as he's paid. And so, because the town have used many different people to try and get rid of rats, they take him up on the offer. But the offer, I believe that he kind of charges quite substantially, so high ticket price. And he knows his worth because he knows his skills, he knows his ability, which is another lesson that I guess I could go into. But the cool thing about the Pied Piper of Hamelin is that he actually gets rid of the rats. And so all of the rats in the town, they follow him as he plays his pipe. He hypnotizes these rats. And unfortunately, if you are a rat lover, he leads the rats to their demise into a local, I think it's a river or lake or something like that. But anyway, so he gets rid of the rats. He goes back to the mayor, to the leaders of this town, to ask for his money. And they don't want to pay him. They don't want to pay the charges that he asked for in the first place, even though he delivered his services. And I feel like I'm using this metaphor of the Pied Piper of Hamelin, and I feel like, there's actually many other stories and I guess metaphors within marketing that I can go into, but bear with me, guys. So anyway, the Pied Piper of Hamelin, he goes back to the town. They don't pay him, and he says, look, there are going to be consequences. And those consequences are that he now plays a different tune. And what happens is he hypnotizes all of the children from the town and leads all the children away from the town. So much to their detriment, of course. And it's not a great ending in that sense. But here's the point that I want to get to, is that if we take the metaphor of the Pied Piper, he has the ability to hypnotize and engage an audience, and they follow him. And the challenge that I see with a lot of marketing for coaches and consultants is that their marketing, it just doesn't hit home. It doesn't connect. It doesn't engage. It doesn't magnetize. And herein lies the problem for a lot of business owners who want to take their marketing to the next level. And I guess the biggest thing is, well, how do you introduce empathy so that you do become engaging? And this is what I want to talk about mostly. So empathy, I guess the simple terms for me to say is empathy is your key to marketing success. And a lot of people don't really understand this, because when they're thinking about their target audience or their niche or their niche, you really have to embody what it feels like and what it looks like and what it sounds like and what they're thinking like. And you have to step into their shoes. And if you step into the shoes of your audience, that's where you will find empathy. But a lot of people don't know how to do this because, perhaps your skills are in different areas of your business, perhaps delivering your coaching services, your consulting services, And stepping into, I guess, the frame, or stepping into the picture of your audience is a bit of a hard job. And so fortunately for you, I do have some key steps that I'm going to take you through. So let's go a bit further. What is empathy? Empathy is the ability to emotionally understand what other people feel and see things from their point of view, and imagine yourself in their place. Essentially, it's putting yourself in someone else's position and feeling what they must be feeling, which is what I just shared a moment ago. I guess this is just put a bit more better as a definition. And so when you look at it from that, perspective, that's going to put your message in a really connective place if you can really embody your audience. And this is where a lot of people, like I say, they fall short. They don't know how to introduce or inject empathy into their message. And so I've got 8 key stages if you want to start to introduce empathy into your marketing. And I'm going to share some examples as we get past the 8 stages so that you understand the impact of adding empathy. And I'm just going to say this again, just for those of you perhaps, missed it, and the fact that I did emphasize it earlier. Empathy is your key to success in marketing. And, quite often people are looking for something unique and to stand out, in a crowded marketplace against competitors. And what I can tell you, if you're using empathy, that will allow you to stand out. That will push you into like the upper echelons, the top 1% of businesses, i.e. coaches and consultants who do actually have effective and engaging marketing. So what are these 8 stages of empathy? So here they are. The first stage is, who are you empathizing with? And a lot of people, obviously, they know this as their target audience, aka your niche. Some people go a bit deeper and go into the avatar, but ultimately, if you understand who your niche is, that's the first step. You've got to have a clear niche defined. A lot of people go general because they want to try and attract everybody, because of the feeling that they're going to miss out if they go, too niche, which really the opposite is true. And for me, this is the first step. Understand who are you empathizing with. Get a very clear niche. The second step is, what do they need to do? I.e., what problem are they looking to fix? What challenge are they experiencing right now? And what are the outcomes? Well, we'll get into outcomes in a moment, but what is the problem that primarily they're trying to fix? Yeah. So you've got your who and your what. Your who and your what is actually the 2 parts of what you need in order to identify your niche. Yeah. Who they are, what problem do they have? So what do they need to do around the problem, right? Step 3, in order to introduce empathy, is, what do they see? What's going on in the marketplace? What are they seeing right now? What are they watching? What are they reading? What's showing up in their world as, the target niche that you want to empathize with? And this is, again, just all about embodying what your target audience are actually experiencing right now. And this is, again, this is the 3rd step in introducing empathy. Step 4 is here. So what do they hear? What are they listening to? What are they hearing others say? What are they hearing their closest friends, family say? And the more you dive into this, the more you're going to embody the avatar around your niche. And effectively, this is how you really channel where your niche is at. And this is where empathy comes from, because empathy doesn't come from external. It comes from really what your niche is going through. And the more you dive into this, the more you pull out the emotion. And, I gave the definition earlier. It's understanding the emotions of what, the other person is going through. And in this particular example, obviously your niche, your target audience. So what is step 5 in injecting empathy? What do they say? So what do they say to themselves? What do they say to people external to them? What do they say to their clients? And again, by understanding this, it just gives you a deeper connection to your niche, meaning that as you construct your marketing message, you're going to know truly what's going on with your niche. It's not going to be, a scenario of, oh, I really don't understand what I need to put into my marketing, because what you're going to get from this, you're getting the answers as to, what frustrates them, what fears they have, what sets them alight as in their wants, their desires, and what are their aspirations. Step 6 in injecting empathy is, what do they do? So what are they doing right now? What actions are they performing? What are they going through? And again, this is really embodying your target audience and getting to the point of truly understanding and knowing what they're going through. You see, empathy isn't just what they're thinking and feeling, it's what's going on with all of their senses. What are they experiencing in their world? And the more you get into this, the more you connect, because you need to then focus on the different answers to the questions that you're asking. And what I'll do in a moment, I'll pull up some of the questions and give you some just quick snappy examples. Step 7 is think and feel. So what do they think and feel around their frustrations and fears? What do they think and feel around their gains, i.e. their wants and aspirations? And the pains and the gains are effectively steps 7 and 8. So I've combined them in this particular example. But here's the thing, guys. You want to know your audience and you want to understand who they are. And you can only do that, as I say, by going to step 1, which is who. So understanding who is the person that you want to focus on, your niche. Yeah. What is their situation that they're in right now? What is their role in the current situation? Step 2 was what. So what do they need to do, and what's going on around them? So what do they need to do differently? Yeah. What jobs do they want or need to get done? What actions do they need to or either want or need to have done? What decisions do they need to make around the problem that they have? How will you know that they were successful or have been successful? Yeah. What is the opposite to the current problem or challenges that they're facing? Step 2 was see. What do they see? So what do they see in the marketplace? What do they see in their immediate environment? What do they see others doing? What are they watching or reading? Step 4 was hear. So what are they hearing others say? What are they hearing from their friends? What are they hearing from colleagues, their peers? And what are they hearing secondhand? It can be news, it can just be information, it can be podcasts, different things like that. Step 5 was say. So what do they say? So what have you heard them say? What can you imagine them saying? Yeah. And do. What do they do? So what do they do today? What behavior have you observed around that audience, your niche? And what can you imagine them doing either with the problem or after the problem has been solved? Yeah. And then the final one, as I mentioned, is what do they think and feel around the pains, the fears, the frustrations, and what do they think and feel around the gains, their wants, needs, hopes, dreams, aspirations? Once you've nailed that, guys, you are at the point where you truly understand what it means to step into the shoes of your audience. And this is where a lot of, I guess, coaches and consultants go wrong, because they don't step into the shoes effectively to this degree. So when you inject empathy, what does it look like? Well, here's a few examples. Look, here's one of my clients where when he shared one post on Instagram, he had over 50 responses to his latest offer, which turned into 50 leads and 15 calls. Off the back of that, you could see his calendar was booked up with sales calls. And it was all because his message had empathy ingrained into it. It was feeling emotions and understanding who and what about his niche, with all of those other stages that I mentioned today. And from that turned into £18,000 in sales. This is one of my other clients, Ashish. When she did the same thing, understanding her audience, she generated 700 leads in 3 days from one post that she put out in different Facebook groups and on Instagram. So empathy is critical to the success of your marketing, and going through those 8 stages are key. Here's an example of me doing multiple broadcasting, just like I'm doing today. I broadcast that on Facebook, I do it on YouTube, Instagram, also on LinkedIn. And the key is truly understanding where my audience is. And off the back of these videos, these types of things, obviously I provide a lot of value and help for people, but I also get leads. I get people who reach out to me and ask me to help and coach them and take their business to the next level as well. And so the key is being able to engage and understand from a point of view where it's still okay to attract people in, where you're ultimately going to sell your services to. And there's no harm in selling, right? Because if you have the solution that's going to help somebody, it's your duty to give them that solution. The other thing is that when your marketing has empathy, you'll have people diving into your DMs and your inbox. You'll get prospects. And so you can see here, just off the back of the post that I put out and some of the I guess, messages that contain empathy, the understanding of my niche. You can see here people look booked for Monday to have a chat with me. Another person here booking in for another sales call. These like examples, I know some of them are a bit blurred out, and that's blurred out on purpose. You can see, look, let's do it. I'm trusting you. This all comes from people who have seen empathy in my message and relate and connect to what I'm putting out there. And off the back of it, this turns into sales if you're a coach or consultant. And what I'm sharing with you today, look, people just giving me their mobile numbers straight up in DMs as I'm speaking to them. And it's because of the empathy that has triggered them in the first place, that has led them from being somebody who's engaged in my content to being a lead, to being a prospect, to being a client. And here's the other thing, guys. Here are some more results from, the kind of, the clients that use empathy in their marketing. As I just showed you, Dwayne, he turned his 50 leads into £18,000 in 30 days. Here's another client. She turned her empathetic marketing into $13,000 in one day. Here's another client, Angie. She did $24,000 in 1 month. Here's a she did $11,500 in 1 month. Here's another client, Matt. He did £3,000, turned that into £100,000 in 4 months, and so on and so forth. Some of the examples of other clients closing sales off the back of marketing. And here's the thing, guys. If you're not using empathy in your marketing, if you're not injecting empathy to the point where that turns into business for you, that's where you're missing out. And, whether you're watching this back live or you're watching this on the replay, I really suggest that you go back to those 8 stages that I discussed with you earlier in this video, because they're critical. And if you feel like, oh, I've got a niche, but I don't really understand my niche deep enough, or I'm not connecting enough in my niche, it's because you just haven't explored all of those 8 areas that I shared, so that you understand the emotion of what's going on with your audience, so you can connect when you do come to create your marketing messages, whether it's social media posts, videos, whatever it is that you're putting out there. And this is key. Here's Denise, another one of my clients, $14,000. And you can see another client, 10,000 in under 30 days. And that's what happens when you inject empathy into your message. It turns into sales, but it also turns into amazing clients. So just to recap, guys, we've gone through the 8 stages of empathy and how you can use that in your marketing message to connect with more people and just get to the point where your message becomes irresistible. And it doesn't mean that, for every post you put out, people are just going to automatically reach out to you. It's a process. So the more that you pull people in, the more that you'll connect with them, just like I shared with you in the story earlier of the Pied Piper. If you'd like help, guys, to increase your sales and create your dream business as a coach or as a consultant, just comment empathy below this video and I'll send you more details so that you can understand what it takes to go to the next level, just like the examples that I just showed you of my clients a moment ago. And finally, guys, if you've enjoyed the content, please do remember, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just head on over to leonstreet.com/YouTube and you'll be redirected to my channel over on YouTube, where there's over 200 videos on marketing, sales, mindset, and all the other bits and bobs you need in order to be a successful coach or consultant online. And on that note, guys, I just want to say, if you've enjoyed this, remember to give me a thumbs up and drop a comment below this video if you've got any further questions or you need some further insight into what I've discussed with you today. And on that note, take care. Bye-bye.